Hey, folks, thanks for joining us for another Hooked on Diesel podcast. I'm your host, Paul Wilson. The show, of course, sponsored by Dirty Hooker Diesel. Tony wasn't able to join us today, but I do have Cody Shaner on the line. Cody, how the hell are you?
I'm not too bad, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. Cody, you have been one of the people who has recommended that we needed to get on the podcast right away. So, guys, we love you going on to the Dirty Hooker Diesel Facebook page, commenting, telling us who else should be on the show. After a little bit of talk here, I can imagine why. It sounds like you have a pretty extensive history around diesel trucks. Is that right?
Yeah, for the most part, like I said, I got into it about probably 15, age 15 or so. Um, Grew up, all my brothers are mechanics. My dad's a mechanic. They all kind of picked on me growing up, saying that I would never be a mechanic, and now I'm building all their trucks. So it's kind of funny how that works. Pick on the little brother, and then the little brother's got to build your whole trucks and stuff. So
That's awesome. Okay, so you got into it at a really young age. Where did you get started? How did you start moving it from just for fun to making money?
So I went to school for it, that in our career program at our high school. It was just kind of fun, but then I got hooked up with Mark Broviak up at Danville because it was here local, and I used to run around with some of them guys up there. And then I used to stop in there all the time on the way home from work, and it just kind of escalated from there. He's taught me a lot, kind of guided me and built some of the stuff that I've built, and helped some of these other guys build some stuff from the knowledge he's taught me. So I got to thank him a lot for some of the knowledge that I have.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, what a great guy to start learning from. Somebody who definitely knows a lot, heavily involved in the evolution of the industry. Definitely is cutting edge for a long time there. Mark Broviak and Danville Performance. Okay, so competition then. So if you're around that crowd and you're starting to deal with this, it sounds like you're pretty competitive with your family. Um,
Oh yeah.
what? Tell me about your background in competing in diesel performance.
So we run around, do a lot of local polls. A couple of years ago, we did a lot of traveling. Went to Kentucky a lot, a couple of Ohio polls. Haven't been to Illinois yet. That's one to check off the bucket list still. Um, but I built my truck. It's probably been together, I'd say 7, 8 years, if not longer, and I haven't touched it. I built it as an LB7, factory appearing charger. Did a lot with it that people said I couldn't have done with it. So it's to the point now where it's got enough reputation that it gets pointed out before I ever get in the pits. Some places uh, around here. So, but I'm kind of hiding it this year. I've been limping the head gasket for about 2 seasons now, and I just ain't had time to work on my own yet. So we're gonna leave it in the garage, and I'm gonna play with some of the other trucks that we have this year.
I do know that's like the mechanics code of my truck last, right? So
Yeah, oh yeah, exactly.
all right, so you said you got a couple other trucks. So the LB7 earned its reputation, stock appearing charger, big fuel system, built transmission. What
Um,
what else is done to
that's
it?
that's kind of what surprises everybody. So everybody thinks it's got big fuel, and it's only got a 12 mil pump and 45 overs, stock intercooler, stock head bolt, everything. I mean, it's got high flow piping on it. That's about it, and it's got one of my built transmissions in it because my dad runs a Allison transmission shop, so I learned how to build those, and I kind of used my own trucks as a test dummy, and then the truck I first bought and grew up with. I used it as a test dummy and got really good at the 5 speeds. So
Oh, cool. All right, awesome. So yeah, so you've been around this like living and breathing it your whole life then, huh?
yeah, pretty much. If I wasn't working on a pickup truck, so I was working on dirt bikes growing up, bicycles, you name it. If it had tires and wires and everything, well, I was interested in it. I wasn't interested in much sports unless it was motorsports.
All right, all right. So you do a lot of sled pulling or a lot of drag racing? Which one do you think you're more heavily
Uh,
experienced in?
More heavily experienced in the sled pulling area. It's kind of where I kind of got my roots from, was just sled pulling. We were always into it, watching gas trucks and stuff growing up. And then this last year, I got a set of radials for my original truck I got when I was 15 because it's got a 400 frame charger on it, and I was going to start drag racing it. But my right foot decided my LML wanted to do LML things this winter, so now I don't have a truck to pull the trailer with.
Oh no.
I was like, yeah, it either spun a bearing or broke the crank, one of the two. It locked up over the winter time, so
Oh,
I had to put the drag racing on hold because I can't afford to put two motors in a truck this year because we're still partying on a stock motor. It's actually the second stock motor I put in my original truck. So the 400 frame charger is a little hard on a stock bottom end.
yeah, 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 usually. That's all right though. Okay. Okay, so are you looking at competing this season? If so, what are you going to go and compete in, and what truck are you going to take there?
I got an '01 extended cab long bed LB7 GMC. My dad's work bought it brand new. I got it when I was 15. It had 250,000 on it. It's got like 300,000 on it now, and it still looks brand new. You can't hardly tell. I mean, it just sits in the garage anymore. I don't drive it much, but I was going to do a little bit of competing. We were going to run the 770 index. I did some testing at Lucas Oil at the test and tune at the end of the year last year. Got it to run a 768, but I had to leave real hard and didn't like how I had to leave. It was kind of hard on driveline parts. So I need to add some more fuel and get some more top end so I can leave a little softer. So we're doing a little more testing this year with it before I decide to actually jump in and compete because I don't want to get out there and make a fool of myself because, like I said, I'm real competitive.
Okay, I can understand that. I can understand that. All right, so all Duramaxes then. So you're real hard on the GM line, huh?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Dodge stuff. So, uh, my one brother, he's always had Dodges. He built a Dodge. There's a video of it that goes around once a year of it doing a burnout. He had a maroon third gen on stock 14 wheels, and he just annihilates the tires on it. And like that video goes around with memes and stuff every year, at least once a year. So he
Yeah,
he, he likes his Dodges. I like my Duramaxes a lot. I mean, obviously, it takes more money, but it takes a little more skill to build one and make it compete. Unlike the Dodges, you can just throw a little bit of stuff at it and they're competitive. So,
yeah, yeah. It definitely, I always say it depends on what your preferences are, right? There's definitely a lot of merits to the Duramax. I'm personally a big Duramax fan. I get it. I'd say if you're in the budget range of newer vehicles, Fords are really hard to beat right now. I
yeah, I
don't
don't
know
know.
what that's going to matter for longevity. It's a Ford,
So,
but
yeah, the 6.7 platforms are nice, but I can't. Every time I work on one, I find a new reason why I won't own one. That's just being a mechanic for a living. You find your icks on everything, though.
sure, sure. No, that makes sense. That makes sense. Um,
But,
I will say on the older trucks, man, if you are looking for cheap power, I don't know how you beat a Cummins. It's just real hard to get around it. Like dollar for horsepower,
but yeah,
it's
for
really
sure.
hard to get past that math. Now, what do you have to do to get there? And those are the things that I think a lot of people end up getting into the weeds about.
Oh yeah, for sure, 100%. And then, like I said, the reason I mainly lean towards a GM is, like I said, I grew up. My dad's worked at a transmission shop. When I grew up, I can build my own transmission. So, say somebody's going to have $12,000 and a 5 speed, I can build the same transmission for not even half of that.
Yeah,
So it
yeah.
saves me a bunch of money there, where I can put the money elsewhere, and then I know what I have as far as transmission wise on things. So,
Well, that's such a big piece of the puzzle, right? Is like you said. I mean, yeah, for a standard built trans, you want to spend 5 grand, 4 grand,
oh yeah,
6 grand, somewhere in there. Okay, that's pretty reasonable. You want to get up into that like 700, 800 horsepower build. Hey, you can do those for a little bit more money, but you're still not, you're going to take out a small loan.
oh
Yeah, if you
exactly.
want a big badass nasty transmission with all billet internals and billet everything, yeah,
Yeah,
12 grand. I mean, that's 12 to 15, right?
I just built one for a guy, all billet shafts, billet carriers, the whole 9 yard. Anything you could do billet, we did on it. I think he ended up having about $7,000 or $8,000 in it with me doing it because I didn't charge him much money to do it. He paid for the parts and I charged him just $1,500 for labor just because I hadn't done one of them kits before, so it was learning for me too. So he had
Sure.
I think to go buy the transmission already done, it was almost like $13,000 or $15,000. So he had half of what it would have been for him to go buy it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so crazy, man. It gets so expensive anymore working on these things.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
So
yeah, well, now parts are only getting more expensive. I mean, if you want anything transmission related, a lot of those parts do come from overseas. It's getting tougher and tougher just to find them stateside. Everybody's kind of held
yeah.
up, seeing what's going to happen.
The problem I'm having nowadays is it don't matter where it is or what it is. Transmission, engine parts is the quality, man. The quality of parts is gone downhill.
Really?
Yeah, like I'm like get the same part. You order the same part from the same company, you get two different qualities on each piece. It's the
Oh,
hardest part about building anything or doing anything. And this thing, just maintenance wise or performance wise, it's kind of all across the board. The quality is not there anymore.
yeah, yeah. That makes it tough too. When you're somebody who's building transmissions, people are relying on you to have that quality control, being that final check. But what do you do when you buy five of something and three of them are bad or two of them are bad? You know?
Just kind of get on the horn and try to get another one and hope the replacement for that piece is good. I mean, it sucks. I mean, sometimes it takes time, but it's kind of the game we play with just about anything, though.
Yeah,
Um, so,
that's
but
definitely
yeah,
the truth of it.
it's a lot of work. I mean, a lot of people are terrified of the Allisons, but in my opinion, it's been some of the easiest transmission stuff that I've done.
Really?
Yeah, they're not. There's nothing to them really. They don't have bands like a Dodge transmission that you got to adjust or anything like that. So, but explaining it wise, it's a little harder to explain wise. But like being in one and looking at one, there's really nothing to them. As long as you put your bearings in the right way and you stack all your gear packs the right way, then you'll be just fine.
Yeah. Okay. Well, once you learn the recipe, you just follow that recipe every time. There's not a lot of variation between it.
Yeah, pretty much. There's a little bit like as far as like if you do aftermarket clutches and stuff like that, there's a little variation there, or depending on like what horsepower goal somebody has and like how much main pressure you'll change and add, and just kind of like little variations. Nothing crazy though.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. Cool, man. What are you hoping to accomplish in the future in diesel performance?
Um, I'd really like to get into more drag racing and kind of chase for points. I mean, maybe do a little bit of winning. I kind of want to build a rail.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've been looking at those. I mean, that you have more money in your chassis, but you don't have as much money as far as you don't have to make as much power to make it go fast because you don't have
Sure.
all that weight. So, like I said, all my trucks are full interior. I refuse to take all the interior out of them and cage ones. So I think because it's always what I've had as far as like since I was 15. So I don't want to get too far away from it, and take the nostalgia and enjoyability out of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It does totally change it. Once you dedicate a vehicle for competition, it is now that's a single purpose truck, right? Which is awesome, and I love those trucks.
kind of like
But if
my
you want to
sled
have
pull
something
truck.
that's all around, you got to be
Yeah,
smart about it.
it's kind of like my sled pull truck. Like I said, I built it for a street stock, work stock truck. Depends on where you're at as far as the rules go. But it got its name Daily Trouble because I used to drive it from Indianapolis to Lebanon every day. I'd
Yeah.
drive it to work an hour, drive it home an hour, and then we'd drive it home on Friday. I'd bring it home, put the stops in it, change tire pressures. We load it on the trailer, and we go truck pulling for the weekend. Come home, come home, take the stops and stuff out of it, and drive to work the rest of the week. So that's kind of how that truck got its name. Like I said, I could still drive it today if I wanted to, but it just sits in the garage. Like I said, the motor's hurting a little bit right now, and I just don't have the time to work on it. So.
Yeah. Yeah. That'll come back one of these days, I'm sure.
Yeah, one of these days, hopefully better than it is now. But I'm not going to change a whole lot because it's still impresses some people what it does for no little than what's done to it. So I got a little bit of tricks up my sleeve. I'm going to try on it and just change a couple minor things, get a little more airflow in it without changing a bunch of stuff. Leave the same charger setup on it, and just kind of do a little head work and some other stuffs, and just kind of try a couple little tricks and see what happens.
Okay. I love it. Awesome, man. Well, Cody, if anybody wants to follow along and see the cool stuff that you do to trucks, is there a social media profile we should point them towards?
I got a TikTok, I got Instagram. It's Cody Shaner 72. Because I used to race dirt bikes, so that's where the 72 comes from. Is from that number, and that's the age my grandpa was when he passed. So it just kind of stuck around. You just said all of our polling videos and drag racing videos, burnout videos, anything like that. It's there. If anybody wants to go check it out. So
Well, that's awesome. Well, I'm definitely excited to check it out myself. I'll be subscribing. Guys, if you're listening to this or watching this, make sure you give us a subscribe as well. We really could use the support from you. If you want to support the show, Hooked on Diesel, definitely support our sponsor, Dirty Hooker Diesel. So go to dirtyhookerdiesel.com for all of your Duramax performance needs. For today, I'm Paul Wilson, and thank you once more for joining us today, Cody.
no problem. Thank you for having me.
No problem. All right, guys, we'll see you again soon.